It's our AEW Fyter Fest match card predictions next on the Squared Circle Psychobabble. Hello and welcome to the Squared Circle Psychobabble. My name is Michael Valenti. This is Ralph Valenti. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. We're trying to hit 10,000 YouTube subscribers before All Elite Wrestling's All Out. But before we get to All Out, we got to get through Fyter Fest, which is happening this Saturday. 9 matches on this card as we got a late addition to the card. And we'll start with that match. It's Kylie Rae versus one of the Librarians, Leva Bates, formerly known as Blue Pants if you watched her in NXT. Ralph, who do you got for this one?
I'm definitely going with Kylie Rae in this match.
Yeah, I go with Kylie Rae as well. I mean, she took the pin at Double or Nothing from Britt Baker, and I think this would be a nice way to get her back to even 1-1. And because I think they want to push her and Britt Baker as the top of the women's division right now.
Not only that, just much more of a, I guess if you want to say believable type character that people can kind of get behind.
Right.
You know, the Librarian is essentially really reliant on a gimmick.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah, I could definitely see Kylie Rae being well-liked and sympathetic right now. Maybe, I mean, she could pull a loss here and get more sympathy for her. But if wins and losses matter, she's got to take some wins if she's going to be part of the women's championship picture. So let's move on to the next match, which is going to be on the pre-show, the buy-in, and it's a 3-team tag team match. And the winner of this match, okay, wins an opportunity for a first-round bye in the tag team tournament for the tag team championship. It's long-winded, but that's how Tony Khan is. I apologize, but the teams are SCU, which is Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky, Private Party, and the Best Friend. Now, this is going to basically set up who we kind of think might be in the contention for the tag team championships here, and we're going to do a full-fledged prediction show on that on Thursday's episode. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so that you know when that's happening. Ralph, who are you taking on this one?
I'm definitely going at SCU in this match.
Really?
Yes, definitely. We're like you said, we're going to go in depth on this on our Thursday episode. But I definitely see them winning this. I think that they're going to be one of the top teams in AEW, and you know, like I said, I'll save my reasoning for that. But for right now, I'm just going to say that SCU wins.
I'm going to go with the Best Friends here.
Okay.
I think the Best Friends were one of the more the biggest surprises in Double or Nothing. And I think a lot of people that did not know who the Best Friends were knew who the Best Friends were by the end of the night. They had a very impressive match against Angelico and Jack Evans. I'd take them to get a win here, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're actually the ones that end up getting that first round bye for this tournament. So for the sake of brevity, we do agree on 3 matches, so we'll just let you know on that one. Michael Nakazawa over Alex Jebailey. Also, Cima over Christopher Daniels. And Nyla Rose winning the triple threat match against Riho and Yuka Sakazaki. So let's move on to the big matches of Fyter Fest here. We'll start with Cody versus Darby Allin. Now, Darby Allin has made his way. You know, people talk about him in the independent scene, especially here in Connecticut, where he's part of Northeast Wrestling. Just won the Northeast Wrestling Championship the night after facing Jon Moxley here in Connecticut. So, you know, he had a great introduction to him at the Road to Fyter Fest episode 1, where he talks about how he's half dead and that's why he has the face paint. Can you actually see him pulling the upset against Cody?
So I'm going to go out on a limb here without kind of spoiling the rest of my picks here, but based on the matches and who's in the matches and where they're going to be positioned in some of the events going forward, if there's going to be anybody that I think is going to do the favors for somebody on this event, I think it's going to be Cody. So I'm taking Darby Allin in this match. They talked a lot about kind of establishing the younger independent guys, really that being the base of their wrestling company. So they've definitely put some promotion behind him, given him some vignettes and some videos. So I'm not saying it's going to be like you know, where it's a total wash where he goes over Cody, where it's like maybe clean or something, maybe like a schoolboy or a roll up, a quick 1-2-3 victory, make it kind of seem fluky where Cody doesn't lose too much, but
and a 1-2-3 Kid-esque over Razor.
Similar, sure. But I think this is the one match, like I said, in comparison to some of the other matches and where people are going to be in the championship championship picture going forward. So I'm going to take Darby Allin in here. Go on a limb.
I'm going to go with Cody. I think Cody, you know, I totally get what you're saying about, you know, being the one that might put some of these guys over, but I think Cody is going to be set up in a position where whoever wins the AEW championship, he might be set up for the person that they defend against first or second. Mm-hmm. And I think a loss to someone like Darby Allin that not many people know will kind of hurt the credibility of Cody being a top contender for the AEW championship. Yeah. Maybe if Darby Allin was more known in a casual audience perspective, then I could see Darby winning. But I think like what happened at Northeast Wrestling, where Moxley still won, but Darby got a lot of buzz for what he did in that match. I think that you're going to see the same thing here where Cody wins, but I think the buzz is going to be how Darby looks in this match, where he looks really good, but just falls short.
Yeah. And I understand that too. I think the other thing you have to consider too is this certainly isn't as big a show as Double or Nothing or All Out. So you got to probably think that a good majority of the people that are going to watch are going to be their hardcore fan base. And their hardcore fan base are probably going to know who pretty much everybody on this card is going to be, including Darby Allin. So having Darby Allin go over Cody Rhodes, or even if he looks strong against Cody and ultimately loses, it won't necessarily impact Cody's, I guess, his legitimacy or his stock too much if he were to lose. So, like I said, I'm going with Darby Allin on this one. We can agree to disagree, but that's my pick.
All right. So let's head on now to the Fatal 4-Way match here. MJF versus Jungle Boy versus Jimmy Havoc versus Hangman Adam Page. Now, we know Adam Page is up for the AEW Championship match at All Out, but does that necessarily mean he's going to win this Fatal 4-Way?
I'm taking him, but I wouldn't be surprised if MJF wins in some sleazy way, and Adam Page obviously wouldn't take the pinfall in that. I also wouldn't be surprised if Jericho showed up and cost Hangman the match. Yep. So, you know, I'm going with Adam Page here, but again, my second choice would be MJF because I think when you look at the title picture and you look at kind of some of the heels that they're trying to establish, he's right at the top of the list. The only thing is right now, I don't think he's working exclusively for AEW. He's still working with Major League Wrestling.
Yes,
so
he's still there.
Until he's done there full time, I don't think we're going to really see him be positioned in that main event picture, but he's certainly right there, right at the top tier.
Yeah. I'm actually going to take MJF to get the win here. I don't know if Jericho's going to get the help in this or if Jericho's helping MJF with the win to get Adam Page, but I could totally see, especially when wins and losses matter. In AEW, they're pushing wins and losses matter. So if MJF is able to steal a win here and actually pin Hangman Page, and then Hangman Page wins at All Out and becomes the first AEW champion, it's already set. There's your number one contender, MJF. And of course, coming out of Double or Nothing, if you don't think MJF is the biggest heel in AEW,
maybe all of wrestling.
You can even say he's the biggest heel of all of wrestling. I think you need to question how you interpret a heel in wrestling, because even when he's like the Miz a few years back, even when you try to like him, he just says things that he knows how to get a boo out of you, and he knows how to get that heat from you. So I could totally see MJF getting a win here, especially because Hangman Page was the one that cost him the Casino Battle Royale, and continue that feud. And maybe we see them one-on-one for the AEW Championship on that first episode of either Tuesday or Wednesday Night Dynamite, whatever that day is. So let's move on to our next match, a one-on-one match. Jon Moxley in his first AEW match going against Joey Janela. You would think this one would be clear-cut Moxley winning. But for the reasons that you say about Darby Allin taking the win on Cody, I could totally see Janela picking up the win on Moxley.
Yeah. And this is the reason why I think I disagree with you respectfully, because I think Moxley can't afford the loss. One, because it's his debut match, right? In AEW. I don't think he's going to lose. Two, they're trying to make him feel like a special guy. Like he's a top guy, certainly. And
Would you say he's at the point right now where they can actually make him the face of AEW?
They certainly could. I mean, he was at one time he was the face of the WWE, right? He was one of the top guys in the Shield. He was the top guy in WWE at one point. So, yeah, of course, I think he can certainly be the face of AEW. Now, with Cody Rhodes, I think the one risk they run at having a guy like Cody or any of those guys be in the main event picture, if they have one of those guys, he'll kind of I think that they might get some of the backlash that Triple H was getting back in the day where, okay, well, you're an executive and you're being positioned in this way and you're married to Stephanie and so on and so forth. Moxley, maybe you're not going to get so much of that backlash.
Mm-hmm.
I do love the story that they're starting to tell with this. Obviously, the interactions that started at Double or Nothing and how some of the videos leading up to the Fyter Fest, Joey Janela, I thought he cut a great promo leading into this, whether that was the first or second road to Fyter Fest. So yeah, I mean, this is probably the match I'm looking forward to most. I'm going to take Moxley in this one though.
Yeah. I like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Janela gets the win for, trying to build some of the younger guys and the not so well-known guys. Like, oh my God, he pulled an upset against Moxley, but this is Moxley's first match in AEW. We know he just, he's killing it in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's going to be in the G1, which we'll cover here in later episodes. So I'm going with Moxley on that. Now, what I think is going to be the main event, if it's not Moxley and Joey Janela, is our last match that we're going to cover. In a 6-man tag, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks go up against Lucha Brothers and the Laredo Kid. Who do you got in this one?
I'm taking Omega and the Bucks. And the reason I'm going to say that is, granted, the Bucks won at Double or Nothing. Kenny Omega did not. And he hasn't wrestled too often since he left New Japan Pro Wrestling. I can't see him losing on back-to-back shows. Now, they could do it where, maybe he's not the one that takes the pin, but still, if he's the top wrestler in all of the world right now, which many would consider him at least probably top 5, having him lose on back-to-back shows, even though this isn't one of their larger ones, that positions him for now. Okay, now he's going to go up against Moxley at the biggest show, All Out. So I don't know. I think he kind of needs a win here, so I'm going to take Omega and the Bucks in this one.
I'm going with the Lucha Brothers and the Laredo Kid. Obviously, we know the back and forth of the Bucks and the Lucha Brothers with the AAA Tag Team Championships, which the Lucha Brothers won back. The Young Bucks did win at Double or Nothing, where I think a lot of people were expecting the Lucha Brothers to win, especially with the AAA Tag Team Championships on the line. Yes, we further found out that AAA wanted the tag team win back in Mexico, so that's why they did the Bucks winning at Double or Nothing. But I think if the Bucks win here and beat the Lucha Brothers again, I think you're going to start getting that, well, their management, they're just putting themselves over kind of thing. So I think the Lucha Brothers definitely need a big win here, especially with this tag team tournament starting. I think they want to build some of these tag teams and it not just be the Young Bucks show. They want these tag teams to actually be like, well, it's not just the Young Bucks carrying this tag team. You got to get the Lucha Brothers to get a big win here. And the same for earlier when we were talking about the pre-show match with SCU, Private Party, and the Best Friends. We can't have SCU winning again because, you got to start building these tag teams, and Private Party need to get their spotlight, and the Best Friends need to get a big win here. So you can't have all of management winning big matches here. Right. So one of those EVPs have to lose, and I think that's the match that loses it. So at the end here, I have Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid over Omega and the Bucks. I have Moxley over Janela. I have MJF winning the Fatal 4-Way. Cody beating Darby Allin. Nyla Rose winning the Triple Threat. Cima beating Christopher Daniels. Nakazawa taking the win in the Hardcore match. Best Friends winning the 3-tag match. And Kylie Rae beating Leva Bates there. Ralph, you have Omega and the Bucks, Moxley, Adam Hangman Page, Darby Allin, Nyla Rose, Cima, Nakazawa, SCU, and Kylie Rae. What are your predictions for All Elite Wrestling Fyter Fest? Let us know in the comments below. Share this all over social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at SCPB Podcast. Subscribe and hit that bell for notifications as we're trying to hit 10,000 YouTube subscribers before All Elite Wrestling's All Out. For Ralph Valenti, my name is Michael Valenti. Thank you for watching the Squared Circle Psychobabble.